Hello and welcome to our video on Shakespeare's classic play, Hamlet. In this video, we will be summarizing the story of Hamlet, and exploring some of its key themes and characters. Hamlet is a tragic play written by William Shakespeare, believed to have been written between 1599 and 1601. Set in the Kingdom of Denmark, the play tells the story of Prince Hamlet, who is grieving the death of his father, the king, and the subsequent marriage of his mother, Queen Gertrude, to his uncle, Claudius, who has taken the throne. At the beginning of the play, the ghost of King Hamlet appears to Prince Hamlet, revealing that he was murdered by Claudius and urging his son to seek revenge. Hamlet is hesitant to believe the ghost's story at first, but eventually becomes convinced of Claudius' guilt. However, he struggles with indecision and procrastination, unable to find the right moment or method to carry out his revenge. The theme of deception and appearance versus reality is central to the play. Claudius, who presents himself as a just and competent ruler, is actually a scheming and manipulative murderer. Gertrude, who seems shallow and superficial at first, ultimately reveals a deeper understanding of her actions and their consequences. Even the ghost of King Hamlet, who appears to be a benign and otherworldly presence, could be interpreted as an external manifestation of Hamlet's own desire for revenge. Another key theme in Hamlet is the burden of action and indecision. Hamlet's struggle to take revenge for his father's murder is a metaphor for the difficulties and consequences of making choices in life. His indecision ultimately leads to tragic consequences for many of the characters, including the deaths of Polonius, Ophelia, and Gertrude. In addition to these themes, the play also explores issues of power, corruption, and the role of the monarchy. Claudius is a corrupt leader who has seized power through murder, and his actions have disrupted the natural order of the kingdom. The play also touches on themes of madness and mental illness, as both Ophelia and Hamlet suffer from periods of madness and instability. Some of the famous quotes from Hamlet include: 1. To be, or not to be, that is the question, whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against a sea of troubles and, by opposing, end them. Hamlet, Act 3, Scene 1. This quote, spoken by Hamlet in Act 3, Scene 1, is perhaps the most famous line from the play. It comes at a moment of great indecision for Hamlet, as he contemplates whether it is better to endure the hardships of life or to end it all. The phrase "to be or not to be" has become synonymous with the concept of suicide, and the soliloquy as a whole is a meditation on the human condition, and the choices we make in life. 1. The lady doth protest too much, methinks. Gertrude, Act 3, Scene 2. This quote is spoken by Gertrude in Act 3, Scene 2, in response to the actor's portrayal of a woman who has been wronged by her lover. Gertrude's comment suggests that the actor is overacting and that the character's protestations of innocence are not sincere. The phrase "the lady doth protest too much" has become a popular idiom, referring to someone who is trying too hard to convince others of something that is not true. 1. There is nothing either good or bad, but thinking makes it so. Hamlet, Act 2, Scene 2. This quote, spoken by Hamlet in Act 2, Scene 2, suggests that our perception of the world is subjective and that the meaning we assign to things is determined by our own thoughts and beliefs. The idea that our thoughts and beliefs shape our reality is a central theme in many philosophical and psychological theories. Some of the key characters in Hamlet include Hamlet, the protagonist, Prince of Denmark, who is struggling with the death of his father and the betrayal of his mother and uncle. He is intelligent, philosophical, and prone to melancholy, and his indecision and procrastination ultimately lead to tragic consequences. Claudius, the antagonist, King of Denmark, who is revealed to be a murderer and manipulator. He is ambitious and ruthless, and his actions have disrupted the natural order of the kingdom. Despite his wickedness, He is a skilled politician, and is able to maintain the appearance of a just and competent ruler. Gertrude, the Queen of Denmark, Hamlet's mother, who marries Claudius after the death of her husband. At first, she seems shallow and superficial, but she ultimately reveals a deeper understanding of her actions and their consequences. Ophelia, a young noble woman and Hamlet's love interest, who goes mad and drowns after the deaths of her father and brother. She is a tragic figure, caught in the crossfire of the feud between Hamlet and Claudius, and her madness is a metaphor for the chaos and corruption of the kingdom. Polonius, an advisor to Claudius and the father of Ophelia, who is ultimately killed by Hamlet. He is a scheming and manipulative character, more concerned with his own interests than those of the kingdom. Horatio, a scholar and close friend of Hamlet, who is one of the few characters to survive the events of the play. He is a level-headed and rational foil to Hamlet's more emotional and impulsive nature. In conclusion, Hamlet is a complex and powerful play that explores themes of deception, indecision, power, corruption, and madness. Its enduring appeal is due in part to the timeless and universal nature of these themes, as well as to the rich and multifaceted characters that populate the play. Its famous quotes and memorable characters have cemented its place as one of Shakespeare's greatest works, and it continues to be read, performed, and studied around the world.